Hello, today I'm sharing my minimalist makeup collection, the makeup, brushes, and tools that I chose and why I chose what I did. If you have a large makeup collection, sometimes it can take you longer than necessary to get ready because of product overwhelm, product overload. A lot of us are into simplifying our collections and routines, and so I thought it might be helpful if I shared how I chose the products I chose for my capsule makeup bag, my collection, in case that describes you, or if you're just wanting to build from scratch and start a small but useful collection. Now, before anyone says anything in the comments, I am not a minimalist. I have a large makeup collection, but we're moving, and so I needed to clear the space so we could get our house ready to sell. Some things had to move into storage, so I wanted to have everything I needed to get ready on a daily basis in one place, streamlined enough to where I could transport it from room to room or location to location, whatever I needed to get ready easily, quickly, so I didn't have to think. So I'll give you my reasons for each product that I chose as I go through. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about your own products. I thought this might be helpful for those of you who are wanting to put together your own kind of capsule makeup bag. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider hitting that subscribe button before the end of this video. Okay, let's go ahead and get into what is in my minimal makeup collection. You can use a drawer, a box, whatever you want to, but I just wanted to have it portable. So I am using this bag here, and I'm going to have every product, everything on my face, everything in this video linked down below. If you're on mobile, just hit the title below the video to get to the description box. If you're on desktop, look below that title and hit the words show more. Now you'll notice as I go through this video, just because it's a capsule minimal type of video, it doesn't mean I just have one product for each category. I have a couple of options because, you know, this is an entire makeup collection that I'm reaching for day in and day out, and I do want to have a couple of options, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of the premise behind a capsule wardrobe too. You have a couple of options for each type of item that you're reaching for, and so that's what I'm doing here. So in the top of this, I just keep some fingernail clippers just in case, and a hair tie also just in case. So I'll get to these bags that I keep on top in a minute. So these come in here. This is all one set, and that's why I like it, because I can just work out of this on top of my vanity. I'm gonna go through this one first and then the other two, and then I'll go through the loose items that are in here. So in this larger pouch here, I keep a lot of my face makeup products. Now on top you'll see a setting spray. This is the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. It doesn't have alcohol in it. It makes everything bulletproof even if you're wearing a mask, and especially right now this is what I wanted to have in here for, you know, if I ever need a setting spray. I have 3 primers that I rotate on a daily basis because I have different skin needs from each primer, and you know, just kind of like a different look depending on what mood I'm in. I do have a hydrating primer. Even though I have oily combination skin, it works really well for me. That's the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I also keep my Holy Grail Smoothing Primer. It's just beautiful and it works with any foundation. That's the Hourglass Veil. This is the biggest size they have because I go through this really fast. This is really great for all skin types. It smooths, it just makes your makeup wear really well. It's also water repellent if you live in a hot, humid environment like I do. And I also keep a mattifying primer because with an oily T-zone, sometimes that's necessary, and that is the Shiseido Waso Primer. And it's a lot smaller, but you really need about half of what you need of any other primer. So those are the 3 that I keep in here. And now if I'm filming or something else, I am going to have other options that I can dig out and reach for. And obviously because of what I do, I am going to be trying new things, and I'll need to reach for different types of things for those videos. But just for daily stuff, off camera, my day-to-day life, what's in this bag is it. I do keep 2 sponges in here. One is used dry. I don't have it in here because it's what I used today, and I forgot to put it back in here. I'll put a picture of it here on the screen, but I love it. I call it my lazy girl sponge because I can use it dry and it makes everything look just beautiful. And I keep a sponge that I can use damp. I'll put the one that I'm using right now, but I do kind of rotate these. And you know, I did do a top drawer makeup video, and you will see some repeats, but I have swapped some things out, and you'll kind of hear as I go through why I changed some of those. So I also keep 3 foundations. I don't keep a full coverage foundation because on a day-to-day basis, I don't need it. I can grab one if I want to, you know, out of one of my bins, but day-to-day, I'm using light coverage or, you know, skin light coverage. So for super light coverage, you know, that I can go light medium with too, I wear my Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Fluid Powder Foundation. I love this for my oily combination skin. It mattifies and looks just like skin, but it never looks flat and it keeps me shine free all day. I don't even need a primer with it. It's really, really beautiful. And because of the versatility and the skin light coverage, I use my beloved Holy Grail Dior Backstage Foundation. I'll also list my shades down below in the description box too. This has a great coverage versatility and it also takes on the finish of whatever primer I put underneath it. And I can get away without wearing this with a primer too. The Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator is a somewhat new launch and new discovery that is in here because it gives me a radiant look and light to medium coverage, and it lasts all day. And that's something I want on a daily basis. You know, if I want extra coverage on a day-to-day basis, I will just use concealer. So that brings me to concealer. Oh, you know what? I did leave out an eyeshadow primer, and for that, I just put in the Bare Minerals Prime Time. I really like it. It's tiny, it fits in here, and it suits me perfectly. It's kind of underrated too. I have 2 correctors in here. One is a little peachier than the other, but I can wear one by itself if I want to. So the one that, you know, I've talked about a ton here is the Tarte Colored Clay CC Under Eye Corrector. This is one of my holy grails. I am in the shade Light Medium. I think this is great. It's super creamy. It's not too peach, but it works really, really well underneath concealer if you have super dark circles or hollows under your eyes like I do. And it's not too thick, so you're not putting too many layers underneath your eyes. And I keep the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Correct in the shade Peach. This is very peach, so it corrects really well, but it's not drying. I do have very dry under eyes, so moisturizing products under the eyes or non-drying products are very important, and this is really great. I have 2 concealers. Both can be used under the eyes or on the face. One is lighter coverage, more natural skin light coverage for just every day, and it can be used with a powder foundation. Oh, I did leave out the powder foundation. I'll get to that in a minute when we get to the powders. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. It looks like skin. It's beautiful and just super, super natural looking. Not that the fuller coverage option isn't natural looking. It just gives me a little bit more. And this is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Concealer. This has kind of become my holy grail full coverage, or I guess I'd say medium to full coverage concealer. I just think it's beautiful. It's very light yet creamy, and it does give me really great coverage, and it brightens too. Plus it can be used on the face. I have to include a powder foundation because there are days where I just want to dust it on and be done. And for that, I chose the new-ish Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. This stuff is fantastic. It looks great. It doesn't look like powder foundation, and it lasts a long time on the skin. Dry skinned people have been liking this too, and it's just really, really a beautiful product. I've been using this a lot since it launched somewhat recently. And you know, I have a lot of favorites and top products in all these categories. It doesn't mean I don't like those products. These are just the ones that I rotated in here right now, and some other ones could get rotated in later on, but these are it for right now. So I do have a stick highlight and a powder highlight, and for just an all-around highlight and a mix in, I did put in the Auric Glow Lust just because it's so versatile. I can wear it under foundation, mix it in, put it on top, and you know, it's just a really great luminizing, beautiful, dewy looking product, and I have to have one of these in my life. It was the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but this is newer and I wanted to put this in here. For a stick highlight, a cream highlight, I have the Milk Makeup Lit Stick. This is the little mini size. I just think it's a fantastic deal. And I mean, I love the shade. Now the powder highlight is in this Smashbox Cali Contour palette, which I just showed you how to use both on your eyes and your face in a recent video. This is a great multitasking palette, but this highlight here is gorgeous. So I not only have a great blush in here and a bronzer, I have, you know, a couple highlights, and you know, I don't use a contour on a daily basis, but it's here. My everyday powder bronzer is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Bronzed Bondi. Now, a lot of you probably thought I was going to choose the Marc Jacobs, you know, the Tantastic, because I think that's what was in my top drawer makeup. I mean, there's some variety in this video. It was just a little bit too big for this bag. I just wanted something a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, but that I loved equally as much. So this is what ended up in here. Super easy to use. I don't have to think about it. It's perfect. Now I do want a cream option, and my choice is this Tarte Sea Breezy bronzer in the shade Seychelles. So easy to work with, and it looks beautiful and natural on the skin. I do only have one setting powder, and it's probably not going to be the one you think it's going to be. It is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder in the shade 1. I want to just let you know that I chose this one because it appears translucent, and that's what I like in a setting powder. I really like the way this sets my dry under eyes as well as my oily combination skin. It works beautifully to do both, and you know, sometimes you don't find that in setting powders, and I didn't want to deal with a loose setting powder in here. I just wanted something that fit really well, wouldn't spill over in the bag, and was just easy. And I know some of you are going to ask about my Nakia Joy or my Lancome, both of which I love so much. Now, I do still reach for those when I'm testing foundations or for certain occasions, so you may want to have a couple in your own kit, but for day to day, this suits me just fine to be in, you know, the bag that I'm reaching for every day. So my finishing powder, I chose the Becca Light Shifter Finishing Veil. I have the shade Star Child. I discovered this recently and have put it in a couple of videos, and I think it's really, really fantastic. So this is dusted on after I've completed all of my makeup. Now I have a cream blush, or a liquid blush rather. I have the Daniel Sandler Watercolor Liquid Blush in the shade Caress. It's beautiful on the skin, quick and easy to apply. And I have the Lancome Blush Subtle in Miel. Miel. I always think I'm going to say it right, and then I always have to second guess myself. Glacé. It's really pretty and just kind of has a subtle rosy tone to it. Now, of course, I also have the Smashbox Cali Contour shade as well, so I have a few options depending on, you know, what's going on with my eyes and my lips. Moving on to the first small bag here. This has eye products in it and a couple of tools. This has a pair of scissors because, you know, you need those sometimes, an eyelash curler, my one brow pencil, the Hourglass Micro Arch Brow Pencil in the shade Ash. That's what I have on my brows today. It's easy to use, it's fast, and it looks pretty natural for a brow pencil. I have a double pencil sharpener from NARS. Just very handy and needed. A pair of tweezers because, you know, you always need those. Mascaras are going to rotate because of their lifespan and just discovering new mascaras, testing things out. Right now, I have the Maybelline Full and Soft waterproof version. I wear this by itself sometimes. Sometimes it's my first coat that goes under a regular mascara because it's waterproof. It holds my curl. So this is just the one that I have in here right now. And I have two regular non-waterproof mascaras. The first is Lancome Lash Idol. It's great for every day. I can also use this one without a waterproof mascara underneath it. It gives a nice volume and length, but not too much. It's just a really great daily mascara that can also, you know, be built up. Now, the one that I use when I want a lot of volume and length, just a more dramatic look, right now is the Bite Upswing Mascara. I have two eyeliners, a dark gray brown that goes with everything. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 in the shade Demolition. And I have a bronzy brown that's lighter, Marc Jacobs in Rococo. I really like both of these. Now, having said that, I also have Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks in the shade Cocoa and Tuxedo because I do line with them, but I also smudge them out and use them on the outer third. I could not have these in here. I really love using these on a daily basis too. And I have a Stick Shadow Nude Sticks Nudity. I use this as a one and done all over my lid. Two other one and dones that are must-haves for me in any kind of kit are Armani Eye Tint in Rose Gold and Armani Eye Tint in Cold Copper. This is the old packaging. I just still have one in my possession. These two shades are beautiful and I use them as quick one and done eyeshadows a lot. So on the bottom of this, I have a Veramona color switch that helps clean off my makeup brushes very quickly without having to wash them off with water just while I'm doing my makeup. So I keep that in the bottom because, you know, I need to have that handy. Now this is kind of random and I did have this over on the side, but sometimes this Laura Mercier poof ends up in this container too. So I'm just going to go ahead and mention it. I use this as a powder puff on days when I use a dry sponge. This bag has a lot of extra space in it. I could have filled it up more. I actually don't know why I didn't, but you know, it's just got some lip products, but I also don't want too many lip products to choose from because of overwhelm. So it does have, you know, some dead space. Now there is one eye product in here, but since it's a little mini palette, I'll get to that in a second. I have two nude neutral lip liners in here because that's what I reach for on a daily basis. I have the Pat McGrath lip liner in the shade Done Undone and the Persona lip liner in the shade Almond. And the end of it broke off. Done Undone is a little bit more of my light pinky brown nude lip color. It's a little lighter and a little less brown than Almond, but I like having both for different reasons. I like to have one bulletproof option that won't budge or go anywhere when I'm wearing a mask, and it's usually one of my Chanel lip duos because those are my holy grail. They're creamy, they don't dry out my lips, and they last beautifully all day long. I have a Tender Beige in here right now. This is one of my favorite shades. I do have a video on these and trying to find dupes for them. I'll link that video if you haven't seen it. Now when I sit down to do my makeup, the first thing I do is put on a hydrating plumping gloss to help plump my lips and smooth out the lines and all that. And I actually showed that in a lip short that I just did. I use the City Lips most often, and so I keep one of those in here. This is the shade San Diego. I've gone through countless numbers of these. They don't sting like most plumping glosses and they actually nourish the lips. Love this. I have two regular neutral nude lipsticks. Right now I have Becca Dusk. This has been within arm's reach for a while, and I have Charlotte Tilbury JK Magic. Love both shades. Becca Dusk is a little bit more brown, a little bit deeper than JK Magic, but you know, I'm usually a nude girl, not today, but these work beautifully. They're creamy and they last a long time for a bullet lipstick. And I'm very, very big on hydrating balms, so I usually keep two in here. Right now I'm keeping the Charlotte Tilbury Happy Kiss in Happy Petal. It's kind of a neutral. It's really pigmented, but it's got nourishing ingredients, as does the Tarte in Rose. I really like this formula too. When you think about how big my eyeshadow palette collection is, you would think it would be kind of hard for me to narrow it down to, you know, what four, it turns out, would fit into this bag, but it actually wasn't. I knew that I wanted the Natasha Denona Mini Zendo in here. I just love this on a daily basis. It's really, really pretty, but it's a little bit different than what you see every day. This was kind of a no-brainer for me. I mean, I guess I could have fit all of my Natasha Denona mini palettes in here because, you know, of all the extra room in this little lip bag. And I recently got the Tartelette Juicy palette, and I just think this is so pretty and easy for every day. It's great if I want a rosier look or, you know, just a neutral look. I can line with it too. And if I want to go a little bit cooler, I pulled out the Natasha Denona Glam palette. It allows me to go a little bit more dramatic, more glam, and use cooler tones. So one thing that was missing for me from all this was a black to line with. So I did pull out my Marc Jacobs Glambition palette because this is such an easy everyday palette. And when I look at all of these, they're neutrals. I could get easy everyday looks from each of them that would give me something a little bit different. And I could also just reach into one and get an entire look. I don't have to dabble into a couple palettes, you know? It just makes things really easy. So going back to brows for a minute, I have that one brow pencil, but I also have this Browsings Pro palette from Benefit. I found this to be pretty indispensable for myself. It's got 4 different brow powders here, so I can customize it. I can also use it as a hair powder if I have my hair up in a ponytail and I just see a little bit too much scalp, you know, works great for that. And there's brow waxes too. I just realized that there was some kind of a smudge on the side of my face. I have no idea how long it was there. I just got it off. I think I got it off. Anyway, mistakes happen. So I have 2 of these kind of flat, perfectly sized brush pouches from Sigma. They came with brushes in them. If I can link them by themselves, I will, but I mean, the brushes that came in them are really good. So I keep eye brushes in here and I keep face brushes in here. You could keep them all in one pouch. I just find it easier and more efficient for me to have them separated, and they lay flatter that way. So in the face pouch, I keep a little peach fuzz shaver. These are very handy. I keep an e.l.f. concealer brush, the Sonia G Master Face Brush. That's what I apply both my finishing powder as well as my powder foundation with. It's out of stock a lot, so if it's out of stock, I will try and link something that will give you a similar result, even though I really haven't found anything that's quite equivalent to it, but I'll do my best. I have the double-ended Hourglass Veil Powder Brush. So this is my loose powder brush, both for, you know, wiping away the under eye area and for all over my face. I was also also using it for bronzer as well as blush and highlight. I have a couple of other options in here though, because on a daily basis, it kind of does become a pain to wipe off your brush between everything that you do. So I tried to find a balance between, you know, being efficient and having just the right amount of brushes. So I was sent this brush a week or two ago from Laura Mercier. It's a bronzer brush. It's compact and it's smooth and the right density. So that ended up in this bag, but it didn't have to. I mean, technically you can use the same powder and bronzer brush because they're really both going, you know, on the main parts of your face. Now for cream blush, this is my favorite brush. This is the BK Beauty 106. Another fantastic double duty brush is the Persona Blush and Highlight. And for cream bronzer, I use the Fenty 125. The first thing in my eye pouch is my favorite lash comb of all time. It's the Tweezerman foldable lash comb. The prongs are spaced perfectly. It folds for travel or storage. I've had other brands, I've tried other brands, and they just don't work the same. So every time I lose one, I always go back and repurchase. I have a Benefit brow spoolie and brush. These are my two crease and transition brushes. This one is from BK Beauty. It's a little bit bigger. This one is from Sigma and it's a little bit more targeted. I've been using the same Sephora brush for years to highlight my brow bone as well as the dark inner corner of my eye. This is the BK Beauty 203. This is the brush that I use to blend out the edges of my cream and liquid eyeshadows. This is the Delium Tools 780 pencil brush. It's what I use to diffuse my lower lash line. This is the Sonia G Pencil 2 brush. This is such a great multi-purpose brush. I use this a lot for the outer third. Sometimes if I'm doing liner just right at the outer third, I use this to smudge it up and to blend it out to make my eyes look more lifted. It's great for bringing shadow up into the crease. It's great for both cream and powder shadow as well. This is the Laura Mercier flat eyeliner brush. I use this to press eyeshadow or eyeliner right into my upper lash line, to tight line, or just to line as close as I can to the lash line. The BK Beauty 208 brush is another precise brush that I love for an angled brush. Sometimes having a big angled brush is just too much, especially if you have any kind of a hood or a crease getting in the way. So this is a great little mini angled brush. This is the Rephr 03 small pencil eyeliner brush. This is a little bit smaller than other pencil brushes that you see. I like that because number one, I have small eyes, and if I want to put liner along the lower lash line, it smudges it nicely, but it doesn't diffuse it too much. I can also get close to my lash line with eyeliner and, you know, kind of smudge it out and it looks really nice, but it doesn't go overboard. The Sonia G Smudger 2 brush is a key brush for me now. It's also great for both cream and powder products, and I love taking this right along the lash line and kind of smudging my eyeliner out. You can see a theme here. I like to smudge my eyeliner. The older I get, the more flattering that is, the less precise I have to be with my eyeliner. Now, if I was really limited on space, I would nix the pencil liners, the tight line brush, and just use this. It smudges and can do a wing and can get into the lash line. It can do basically everything in one brush. It's really great, but I do like to have options and I have the space, so I did put the other ones in here. This brush, because I have small eyes, has become my go-to blender brush. This is the Precision Firm Blender from Sigma, and it's just a round little brush. It's got some softness to it and it blends things really nicely without being too big so that, you know, you're just completely blended out. But it's also great for applying those dark shades right in that outer corner and getting precise placement too. So to some people, this might be a lot for a capsule collection, but for some people, you know, it's not going to be enough. For me, it's a happy medium for having everything I need on a daily basis in one container that I can flip open and get any look that I want and have options. Could I streamline it further? Yes, but this really works for me. And that's what creating a capsule or a minimal makeup collection is all about, is finding what works for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I hope this walkthrough was helpful. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and become part of the family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at my next video. Bye!